Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to create the bow that I put on top of my son's car. Please note that you can do this for an actual car, like not a toy car, but you just need to use A2 craft paper. So what I have over here is A4 craft paper. I bought it in red. It comes in different colors. Just decided to go for the traditional red because most of the bows that I see are red. You can actually purchase this bow with the car. I think it was about 200 or 300 rand. And I thought to myself, there's no way I'm spending that much money. So what I got was this craft paper. As you can see here, I'm folding it in half. So I folded the craft paper in half to create the bow. So that is the first step. Fold your craft paper in half. I think I folded about 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken. And then from there, I joined them together. Okay, so once you've folded your papers in half, you then put them together. Now, I use a staple for this. I would say using a stapler is not the smartest choice because the staples are very hard to hide. I would say use glue, paper glue for this, or you can use double-sided tape. I did use double-sided tape to stick the bow onto the car, but for the project, I used the staples, which wasn't a great choice. I think looking at it afterwards, I think it would have been best to use double-sided tape or just paper glue. But yeah, this is me putting the pieces together. So I joined the pieces together. Another thing you can do to make your bow larger or bigger, so instead of folding the paper into half, you can just cut off the halves and you'd have more paper to use for your bow. I didn't want necessarily a large bow because the car is pretty small, so I just folded it in half instead of cutting it in half. Okay, so at this point, once I have the 8 shape, I just then stuck them together. So I did use tape for this. I just used tape to stuck them together. And yeah, you just basically stick them or basically stack them in a way that doesn't show too many spaces in between. So the first one that I did was a cross and I did a crisscross afterwards. Now you can see here I'm struggling to use the staples, and this is when I realized that using the staples for this project was not a good idea. And then I switched to the tape. So rather just use the tape or your double-sided tape or regular tape, solid tape as well. So you can see that I used solid tape on here. What I did was I actually just folded it so that it was sticky on both ends. So stick it, just roll it on itself so that it's sticky on both ends, and then use tape for that. Okay, so once you have basically stacked your bow, you then have that final piece. Now you will see that I decided to change my final piece. I did initially have that circle and I stapled it on top of the bow, but I didn't necessarily like how it looked. It just didn't look as full. So what I decided to do, and you'll see this at the end, I didn't get it on tape, but what I decided to do was cut that final piece. So that round shape, I cut that in half and made sure it was shorter. So the ends were shorter, and I basically stuck the 2 halves like that. So it looked fuller and it basically looked like a bigger bow. Not sure if I'm making sense, but I cut that in half, made sure the ends were shorter than the original pieces of paper so that it makes it fuller. Another thing that I did was I did those strings. I don't know what to call them, tassels or strings at the end of the bow. So those 2 strings that basically hang off of the bow. to do that, I folded paper in half. So one of the papers in half, I then drew like a triangle shape on it. And so you can see me drawing that triangle shape. I drew the triangle shape and then cut it off. So cut off the triangle and then split the paper. Okay, so here's me cutting the paper and then splitting them into two. And once I had the shape or the desired shape that I wanted, I then stuck it onto the bow. And this was my end result. Like I said, I was not happy with the top part of the bow, so I decided to change it up and just cut those two halves. Cut the last circle into two halves and then stick them back onto the bow. It looked a lot fuller and better like that. So this was the actual final result. Sorry I didn't get that on camera. My son's car arrived on the same day, and this is the box that it came in. This is me unboxing the car. It did come unassembled, so I had to assemble it, which was not great, especially if you're not handy like I am. That was not a good project, but I did get it together. And it works really well. The battery was fully charged when it came, so I didn't have to worry about charging the battery. All of the components work. I must say though, I haven't been able to use the parental remote. I think I don't have the right batteries for it, or it doesn't work. One of the above. Please watch out for my next video. I'm going to show you how to make a custom number plate for this car. I know you can buy it with a car for like 150, but I was like, nope, I'm going to do it. I'm going to DIY this thing. But yeah, my son loved the car. This is what it looked like with the bow on top. He didn't want to face me, so I will post a picture, or I'll put a picture on a thumbnail of what the car looks like with the bow on top. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. And watch out for my next video. Bye for now.